This is why you want to remove this plate, which is for adjusting the stitches. Basically, usually there are 4 screws, but you need a very slim, very thin flat screwdriver. The head of the screws is very small, and the knob usually will have another screw flat head right in the center of the knob. Just remove them carefully. There may be springs. On this model there is a small spring here. It's that spring with a rod, and just careful so you don't lose it, and make sure you put it back in place the same way you removed it. But all this to say that you see we have couple of oiling holes at the top, but you will never get oil on this mechanism here, and I just cannot film better than this. But you may see the shiny face, that's a rotation part. It rotates on a shaft as well. There is a fork here upwards, and there is a second fork on the side. So those upper forks, in theory they should get some oil from the top, but I prefer actually reaching from this opening and just with a long wire, piece of wire, just put some grease on them, and then you don't worry about them for years. But also you notice there are other parts here. You just rotate by hand to see what's moving, and these parts are not lubricating no matter how much oil, and it's not a good idea to put too much oil either, because it's going to leak at the bottom. So then if you remove the small plate, you can reach with a piece of wire and just put a tiny amount of grease on the rotating part. Lubricate everything that rotates as well with oil, not with grease pivots, and this gives you much better access to those components. Again, this is a specific model that doesn't remove the top like on later models, so access from the top is very limited. If you want, you may get a bit of access to the shaft. I'm not sure if you can oil on this side, but if you do, just make sure you wipe it off, otherwise it's going to leak on the handwell. And at the front, I prefer put it on the handwell side with the head up, and just put small droplets of oil on the rotating shaft here bracket, because there's one bracket in front and one in the rear someplace, and you reach better like this, the front bracket, instead of the tiny hole lubrication oiling hole from above. And again, this way you can also I'm going to link you a image that shows this is the 185, on the 99K is the same internal mechanism. You will see there is sort of a fork here in front like this, an arm which moves like this, I believe, and there is the fork which translates the rotation to the bottom here. So there's 2 points that you may want to put a bit of grease. Try to reach the rotating part of the shaft with the grease, then it's going to rotate and spread on both arms of each fork. But this gives you a much better lubrication. And grease, once you put grease in there, try to put a quality grease. It's going to be good for several years.